Hello everyone, it's Sandy Wilson from Boxing Science. Welcome to this video tutorial on how to use your Excel database for the 30-second maximal sprints. Now this is a preloaded template that you can edit and put in your speeds, and this is like a key selling point, a unique selling point for Boxing Science on how we deliver our programs with our athletes. It's really high tech, it's really detailed, and for you to get this as part of Train Like a Champion, we're really excited to share it with you. Now, the reason why it's so beneficial is because with the 30-second sprints, it's more than just the total speed or the total distance covered. It's more than just the mean speed as well than you would do in your high-intensity interval training. It's actually about like how you attack it, what is the key intensity, the peak intensity that you can reach, and how you can maintain that or stop the decline as much. And as well, you can target different areas of the curve as you come down as well. So have you seen in the conditioning handbook the example with Jordan Gill, where over the years we've challenged him at different places, you know, the peak intensity, the speed that he hits after 7 seconds. Then we try and improve like how that's repeated and also how that's endured rep by rep. So this database can tell you a lot of information about yourself or about your athletes. So a lot of time and effort has gone into developing something like this. And this is the first time that we're sharing it with anyone apart from the Boxing Science team. So we'd really appreciate if you've got any feedback on how the database works for you, what alterations we can make to make it easier for you, and what information you want to get out of it as well. But also, this kind of program, a lot of time goes into it, but only the people that invest in it actually see what's going on. So to spread the good word of Boxing Science, we rely on the audience and you spreading the good word of Boxing Science. So if you can share anything on social media about how useful this tool is, that'll be much appreciated by myself, Alan, and the rest of the team. Welcome to our 30-second maximal sprint Excel database. Now this first template is great for people that are just starting to use monitoring tools or maybe not be as tech savvy, as basically writing down different speeds at different time points. Now, like I said in the intro, this is a really good tool because it tells us a lot more than just our mean speed. It tells us how we attack each sprint and tells us how we're able to endure them intensities and be able to repeat them as well. It's also great because we're able to pinpoint different speeds at different times and to create like some sort of incentive, some goals to make sure that athletes not only pushing their bodies to the limits, but maybe beyond their limits to make sure that they improve in performance. So this is a protected workbook. Things that you can change on here is the date, the time of your intervals. So if it's 30 seconds, it'll be 0.5. How many reps you do, your key, what you take at the end of the session, and then your different speeds. Now these speeds are taken at 7 seconds, 17 seconds, and 27 seconds. And this gives us indication of your peak intensity and your ability to endure that across the 30-second working interval. So like I said, it can provide you with some incentives. So let's say we're working with an athlete on this, we'd be saying, right, for your first sprint, we want you to be hitting above 21. And then after that, try and keep it above 20 as much as you can, and then try and keep it above 16. So let's say they're at 21.6, 20.5, and then they kept it above 17. So we're seeing improved performance. And this is you know, we're making up the numbers here. It's quite theoretical, but this is something that we'd see in our labs. Let's try and do that again. And then once more. And then our RP is 10 every time. Should be if you're doing maximal sprints. So you can see there that automatically our means changed. We put in the RP and the amount of reps and the time spent on each rep. And this calculates our load. And this is what we put into our conditioning. You take the mean speed and the RPE, and you put that into the conditioning log that is also available on your Train Like Champion program. So if this is quite easy for you, I would advise you to give a more advanced template a go, because it tells you a lot more information. I'm going to show you the sheet that you're going to be using to start off with, and then I'm going to show you an example as well. So there's things that you can change on here: the reps, the date, the reps and sets, the RP at the end of the session, then obviously your speeds there. What's added to this is the decay, so the difference between your top speed and your last speed. And then it also shows us a moving average up here. So this is a great way to, you know, let's say if you do a few phases of doing the 30-second maximal sprints, you're setting your average there and you're working against the average. And sometimes you might be working against your best session as well. Down here, we've got a comparison tool where you can compare session by session. You've got a drop-down box here where you can select the date of the session, and then that alters the numbers in here. Now, I might as well show you this in our Excel template, in our example template. So we've got some numbers filled in here. All these speeds taken at 7, 17 and 27 seconds. We've got the RPs written in as well. And then we can change each session. So you can see that the numbers change as soon as we change the date on our drop-down list. And then you've got some conditional formatted blocks in here where you can see a percentage improvement on our sprints. So like I said, it tells us a lot more than just like mean speed and the absolute performance. We can see there that we're doing really well on our first sprint all the way through to our third sprint. But on the fourth sprint, you know, we increase our speed just by 6%, but then we end up like dropping a little bit underneath our performance on the first session. So that's saying that, yeah, we've improved the ability to like produce intensity and endure it as well, because we're taking it across the 30 seconds, but our ability to repeat that is limited. So we'd look to try and work on more reps and work on our performance down the back straight on sprint 4, sprint 5 and sprint 6. And then down here, we've got a visual representation, so you can clearly see the difference between your performances as well. And that also changes with each session. So let's say I'll change it to the 5th. And that's all changing there. That's great. So if you've got access to a curve, this Excel template is absolutely perfect for you. Now, what about if you don't have access to a curve and you're wanting to use different ways of doing 30-second maximal sprints? We've got Wattbike, we've got Sprinting Outdoors, and we've got the Prowler as well. And we've got some tools for you to use here. So on this one, we're actually, after this tutorial, this intensity factor will be taken out because that is going to be absolutely massive. We're just going to use the mean speed for that. Now, well, it's going to be the mean wattage. You're going to write down your score at 7 seconds, 17 and 27 seconds. And this is your power output, your watts. So as you can see, we're starting off at 1,000, dropping down to 800, and then going down to 500 watts. Now that, you can see the mean load there is absolutely massive compared to your mean speed during your curve sprints. So if you're going to be using the Wattbike, don't put it into your total conditioning log like I would suggest for the others, because there'll be a massive disparity between your training loads. I just use it as a relative tool to seeing your training loads during Wattbike sessions. Same things apply here with the drop-down box, and then the graph changes obviously accordingly to watts and obviously going all the way up to 1300. Now we're going to go on to sprinting outdoors, whether it's on the track or doing shuttles or running on a football pitch or something like that. What we're going to do after every 10 seconds, so 10, 20 and 30 seconds, is measure out the distance covered. So for example here, I've used 80 meters covered in the first 10 seconds, 60 meters in the second set of 10 seconds, so from 10 to 20, then it drops down to 40 there. So you can see that our athlete isn't pacing themselves, they're going max out, and then they're naturally fatiguing from that. But likewise with the power output of the watts, if we're just doing distance covered, this will change our kind of training load. So we're wanting to use a calculation here to change it to kilometers per hour. So we've done this for you. So this top box here is automatically formatted to create kilometers per hour. And then this calculates your mean speed, and then this can be used as part of your training load. So as you can clearly state here, record the distance covered in meters here. And basically, where it's marked in grey, this is where you're going to be recording your sprints. So let's say we're doing 70 meters, 50, and then 50 again. It's calculated our speed straight away. And this tool is also used with our prowler. Obviously, you're going to be covering a lot less distance on the prowler, but it's still important to make it quantifiable as in speed as well. The training load is going to be a lot lower, but that's okay because the training load is going to be lower because it's not as much impact going through your joints. So if you're working with, let's say, heavy athletes or athletes coming back from an injury, using the prowler would be really beneficial in doing the 30-second maximal sprints. So that's a quick fire tutorial on how to use this Excel database. I hope it's been useful. If you've got any questions whatsoever, fire them into our Boxing Science Facebook training group. Fire them into our inbox on our emails or social media channels. But like I said, it's a great tool for you to use. Make sure you're patient with it, because once you get over the initial frustrations and you know, gaining that understanding, once you understand it, it's a great tool for you to use. And then also, like I said, if you can share it, share you using it across social media, that'll be perfect for us because we're wanting to spread how much effort, how much time we're putting into these Boxing Science Train Like a Champion programs. Cheers, guys. Enjoy, and enjoy the 30-second maximal sprints.